Hey guys, welcome back to the video, and today I wanted to show you my PlayStation 1 collection. Got the PlayStation t-shirt on, which is ideal for this kind of video. Which I basically just said the same in my top 10 PlayStation 1 collection video I just recorded. Okay, so I haven't got my entire collection here. There are some missing, like Tomb Raider 2, Dino Crisis, Tomb Raider 3 as well, I think. Yeah, definitely. Or did I have that on PC? But I definitely had one copy of Tomb Raider 2 on PlayStation, I remember. Or did I? I'm questioning myself now. Anyhow, so I think some are missing, but I'm going to show you what I do have. Okay, so first game I'm going to show you guys, I cannot pronounce, so help me out, is that the Urgez? Basically a fighting game featuring like different characters from like Final Fantasy, Capcom, things like that. So you had Cloud, who else you got? Featuring characters from Final Fantasy 7. It doesn't actually list anyone else on the back. Just Final Fantasy 7's enough to sell it for you. Oh yeah, I think you had Tifa, and you've got a couple of Capcom things. I can't remember. Didn't play an awful lot of this, but it was quite fun, I think, to begin with. I don't know, it's been that long, I can't remember. Did I actually enjoy it that much? Maybe not. Okay, next up we got Xena Warrior Princess. Love this game. Always been a huge Xena Warrior Princess fan. As you know, I've mentioned I've met Lucy Lawless in New York Comic Con back in 2014, maybe 50 odd times now, 51. And yeah, they brought a game on the PlayStation. There is one on PlayStation 2 as well, but I didn't like that because they had like a timer on it for the entire game as soon as you start it. I hate time. Don't give me time. Yeah, this is quite fun though. It featured quite a lot of things from the TV show. You could control Xena's chakram when you sent that out. Aiming it at different people. Yeah, in fairness, not bad at all. That is one I do remember playing. Next up is Max Power Racing. I think this came with the PlayStation. It wasn't too bad for the time. Definitely not the best game, but it was okay. Managed to knock quite a few different cars on it. I know I should have sorted this in some kind of order. Next up is SmackDown 2. Know Your Role. There is, of course, Shut Your Mouth as well, but I think that might have been PlayStation 2. Love the wrestling games. Well, I used to love the wrestling games. I had Warzone that came with the PlayStation that will be featured, and the first SmackDown, and those were games I used to play all the time, over and over. And even going as far as PlayStation 2, I started to lose a bit of interest on PlayStation 3, maybe only had 2 or 3 titles on there. PlayStation 4, I think I only bought 1 title for it. Or did I buy any? Anyway, the last game they brought out was absolutely terrible. It was rigged with bugs. I never had it, but I just watched all the videos of the glitches online and stuff. I was like, wow. Because that was one game I used to be obsessed with. But I might take a look at the next entry that's released on PlayStation 5. Should be normally like October, November time, I think, traditionally for these games. I might see what that's like. Okay, next up, Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver. That's correct. Sorry, it's got like a 3D effect on it, and that's what I was looking at then. There you go. See me on the screen, in the screen. This is pretty cool. I can't remember a lot of this. I don't think I got too far. I can remember picking up enemies and throwing them on spikes, though. That was quite fun. I think there's a couple of Soul Reaver games out there. I might look into that series a bit more. Here we go. Driver 2. Back on the streets. Yeah, love Driver 1. So when they announced Driver 2 and you could actually get out of the car, I was like, yeah, that is something I gotta do. Yeah, I think there's quite a few secrets in this game as well to unlock, but I enjoy this really, really good. I think I had Driver 3 then on PlayStation 2. That wasn't great, but the explosions of the cars in that game for the time were pretty something. It was awesome. This was quite fun. Star Wars Jedi Power Battles. I think there's like a point system in this. See, it's been so many years since I've played these. I remember I enjoyed them. I can't remember anything about them. But yeah, it was quite fun. I think Star Wars Episode 1, I was going to say you play through Episode 1, where you do. But it was fun. It was good. WCW Mayhem. Just try this because there's a wrestling game. I was never a WCW guy, and I hardly played this. Did not like it. 6 match types, when I got loads these days. Over 50 WCW superstars. Yeah, I tried watching it once, and nah, it just isn't my thing. I was always a WWE guy. And I've also got, I don't know why the manual's upside down. There you go. Star Wars Episode 1. Another Star Wars Episode 1 game. This was okay, but I believe it's quite difficult in parts. I can't remember if I ever finished it or not. I can't remember. Okay, we got Tomb Raider, The Last Revelation. I didn't get on too well with this one either, to be honest. I don't think I ever got that far. No, I did finish it. I must have. Did I? I can't remember. Tomb Raider Chronicles is the one I didn't get far with. I think I struggled with The Last Revelation though, compared to the rest of the games. I just didn't find it as entertaining or as good. Okay. Alien Trilogy. I remember my dad buying me this one, thinking it would be pretty good. And I have to agree, it is pretty good. Nice little shooter. How far did I get on this? I never finished this one, but I remember playing it and I do remember joining it. It was Christmas time. It was over Christmas period. Next up, we've got the original WWF SmackDown before it became WWE, like I said. I love the create your own character kind of things and that. This is one Retro Red Steve picked for his top 10, and I can definitely agree. Buster Move 2 is a great game. I think this came with the PlayStation. It's basically, if anyone's ever played Beehive Bedlam on Sky TV, digital kind of thing, it's basically that with Bubble and Bobble. Sorry, Bub and Bob. Yeah, and it's surprising how addictive this game is, but it's really good. Okay, this is not one I had originally. This is one I bought later on in life. Wild Arms, an RPG, basically kind of like a Western RPG, I guess. All about arms, like fire weapons, stuff like that. A warrior, a princess, and a rogue cross the wastelands of Philigea on a quest for ancient relics that may save this brave new world. But yeah, it was something different, and I really enjoyed it. Wild Arms 2, I don't think that was released for us. Wild Arms 3 was a very frustrating game on PlayStation 2 and difficult to get into. I think they're the only Wild Arms games I've played. I never played 4, and Wild Arms 5 never got released over here. But I remember reading in the PlayStation magazines at the time that people were really excited, or that the writers were really excited for it, and then it got cancelled, not being released in Europe. And they're like, what? Okay, some Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy Origins, obviously then going back to Final Fantasy 1 and Final Fantasy 2. So obviously because I was too young at the time, I never had a chance to play these games back on the original systems. It was great that this was released for PlayStation, and they're actually releasing these games now, some kind of pixel remake for mobile phones and everything, so that could be interesting. Not for me though, because I don't play a lot of mobile, like that kind of game on mobile phones. I haven't got enough battery or enough time, or I don't want to be like looking down it all the time, do you know what I mean? And then Final Fantasy Anthology, which contained 4 and 5. I think 5 was pretty good. I can't remember too much about 4. X-Death is the evil villain in 5, I'm sure. But yeah, finish all those because I'm a huge RPG lover and I love Final Fantasy, at least old Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy as of late has been a bit stale for me, and I'll stick to your roots because that's what like the true fans love. And again, WWF Warzone, that came with the PlayStation, so put that by there. Tomb Raider Chronicles, now this is the one I struggle to get far with. I'd like to do it again actually, give it a go. because you could go to like several different locations, I think, around the world. You could pick which one you wanted to go to first. I remember London was on there. I think it was London. And yeah, it was just like the fifth game, the fifth entry in the series, maybe. There's definitely been a lot of hits and misses with Tomb Raider, in my opinion. I have enjoyed the remake, but like I said, nothing will ever top Tomb Raider 2 for me. Like, that was it. Okay, this is one game I never got far with. Uh, in Cold Blood. Ooh. I remember like you play a government agent or a spy infiltrating this facility to find out what happened to one of your fellow agents. Um, and I messed up at the end. I saved. Do you remember when you could save anywhere? And if you saved in a stupid place, and then every time you load up, something's after you to shoot you or kill you, and you can't get away from it. That's what I did. So I got to the end of the first one, but the gameplay for this was not that great for me. I bought this because I thought, oh, something different, let's give it a go. But maybe if I give it another go, it might be good. Who knows? Okay, so now I'm going to show you guys what was in my top 10 in my other video. Final Fantasy VII, of course, I don't have to say anything about that. It is what it is. It is the king of RPGs in my opinion, although I do recognize there's so many other non-Final Fantasy awesome RPGs out there. Like Grandia, I love Grandia, that was great. Final Fantasy 9. So I'm not going to go on about these because you guys know them all. Final Fantasy 8. Final Fantasy 6, which I said in my other video was my favourite retro Final Fantasy game. 7 onwards, then I count in a different kind of phase. Okay, so then moving away from the Final Fantasies, because I could talk all day on those. See how I went quick then? Resident Evil 2. I mentioned this in my video. Resident Evil is a classic for many, many people, and Resi 2 is in the, well, the favourite Resident Evil for most people. Driver, the game that started it all for me with like pre-Grand Theft Autos, things like that I played. Yeah, was his name Tanner? I'm pretty sure it was Tanner. I can't see there. And I did mention though how awkward that driving test was at the beginning of this game, and if you didn't pass it, you couldn't go on and play the rest of the game. That was harsh. Like, you know, all that money spent and how many people did not get past that. Fear Effect, love this game. When you play like 3 mercenaries trying to track down someone's stolen daughter, kidnapped daughter, whatever. Plenty of puzzles. I think you play all 3 of the characters, and yeah, there's a lot of twists and turns in this. And I never played Fear Effect 2, and growing up, it's one I nearly bought so many times, and I just didn't. I don't know why. So maybe I'll go back to my PlayStation and give some of these games a go again and try and finish them off. Yeah, that should be on the list, but I've got so many games to play, so it's not going to happen. So, Dino Crisis 2. Of course, I've got Dino Crisis somewhere, not quite sure where. It's basically Resident Evil with dinosaurs, but it's really, really good. I'm not sure if the second one is as good as the first, but yeah. Resident Evil 3 and Nemesis, this is a favourite for a lot of people as well. Then again, sometimes it's not. But I did enjoy the Nemesis in this one. And the quick time events they introduced for it. Pretty good. Pretty good. I'm not trying to rush this, but this like section of the games I showed in my top 10. So if you want to hear me talk a bit more about them, go and check that video out. And the last one, it's not the last one because I know there's more around somewhere, is Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped. Everyone loves Crash Bandicoot series. Well, maybe not everyone does, but it's definitely a classic. And I never had the first 2. Only played them by borrowing them off friends. But so when the trilogy was released, the HD trilogy, that was a must-buy on PlayStation 4. Snapped it up, loved it. Same with Spyro. I only ever played Spyro on PlayStation by borrowing off friends. So there you go, guys. That is my PlayStation 1 collection. Out of all my PlayStation consoles and collections, that is probably my shortest one, to be honest. What I did, it's got to be more. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. What did I have? I don't know. Anyway, that is my PlayStation 1 collection. Let me know if you had any of those in the comments below. And yeah, interested to see what your PlayStation collections are. So if you have got a video up, let me know also in the comments and I'll go check those out. And if you haven't already, check out Retrobait, because he started a topic doing your top 10 PlayStation games, like I mentioned. So go and have a look at that, because it'd be interesting to see then which videos I've actually missed, because I'm enjoying watching all these top 10s. And yeah, right, I'm gonna blab. I'm really still hot and tired today, so sorry if I haven't been myself, my normal. Anyway, before this goes anywhere, it shouldn't, I'm gonna say thank you for watching, and as ever, boom, boom, see you soon.